we go. Victory Sunday. The Jets get a victory over the Cincinnati Bengals 34-31. Here are my top 5 takeaways.
J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets!
All right, welcome in. My name is Ryan. I'll be your pilot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Boys and girls, it feels so good to have a victory Sunday with you after the horrible beating that we had against the New England Patriots last week. The Jets came in to MetLife and punched the Bengals in the mouth, and I could not be more excited. And if you're wondering, that video clip, that was Carl Lawson, our edge rusher who unfortunately tore his Achilles. He was a Cincinnati Bengal last year, and he is all sorts of excited for what would have been a revenge game for him this year. And man, I just can't wait to get him on the field to add to the rest of the fun that we got to see from the Jets and this team today. Now, the Jets are the only team in the AFC East to have victories over teams with a 500 record. That's the Titans and now the Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals were the number 1 seed coming into the day. The Titans now are the number 1 seed as of recording this video. Who would have thunk it? The Bills, the Patriots, and the Dolphins, not one victory over a team with a winning record. Ha! Ha ha ha! Ah! All right. Well, I'm excited. Now let's jump into my takeaways. At number 5, I want to talk about Michael Carter. Both Michael Carters are phenomenal. I'm really enjoying what we're getting out of both these guys, but I want to talk specifically about the running back, Michael Carter. 24 touches, 172 yards, and a touchdown. He was out of his mind. And I want to touch on Ty Johnson as well, because Ty Johnson had himself a nice little game as well. 9 touches, 86 yards, and a touchdown as well. He had a really nice tightrope touchdown that they wound up challenging at the end of the game. That was just oh so nice. But Michael Carter looks like he could be a lead back for this team, and I think if we get a little bit more help on the offensive line, specifically at the right guard position, I think this is going to be a really exciting player to watch over the next few years. And I cannot believe how well he performed. I mean, I shouldn't say I can't believe. I can believe how well he performed, but it just seems like he's flourishing way earlier than I would have thought. And he fell all the way down to the 4th round. The Jets were really excited when we wound up picking him up that late. And you can see the talent on display here. I think he can be an Alvin Kamara type of running back for us. I think when you get the offense clicking, the quarterback starts playing well, the wide receivers start getting involved. So Michael Carter, Ty Johnson, both had really nice games, but Michael Carter looks like a stud. Number 4, I want to talk about the defense. And the defense here really had themselves a nice game against an offense that has been very potent in the Cincinnati Bengals. C.J. Mosley comes back after missing last week's game, and this defense looks totally different from just 1 week ago when we gave up 54 points. C.J. Mosley comes back, 9 tackles and 1 assist. You had Quinnen Williams, Jabari Zuniga, and Sheldon Rankins all getting sacks this game, so we wound up with 3 sacks. The Zuniga sack was great. He puts his head right on the ball, causes a fumble, and this is the first, I don't want to say action, but the first really big impact play that he's had in his career. So if he can stay healthy, hopefully be a little bit more of a contributor, I think it's going to make a lot of people feel more comfortable about that 2020 draft class. Shaq Lawson winds up coming up with our first interception on the season, and if you had defensive linemen as the first position to get an interception for the New York Jets this season, go buy yourself a lottery ticket because you absolutely deserve to win some Powerball. And then you look at the high-octane offense of the Cincinnati Bengals, and you look at the new, likely rookie of the year in Jamar Chase. He only had 3 receptions for 32 yards and a touchdown. Now, he did drop a touchdown early in the game. I want to say it was the first drive they had the ball right on the goal line there. But overall, Jets kept them in check. Higgins had himself a nice game. But by and large, where we were last week, I think any Jet fan would be more than happy with the performance that our defense put on here today. At number 3, I want to talk about our offense. Again. And that's Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore had 7 touches for 71 yards, and that was great. I love seeing him getting more involved in this game, but I want to emphasize the hustle and just how important it is to get the most out of your guys and have guys that are hungry like Elijah Moore. This dude ran 63 yards after the first interception that Mike White threw and tackled the defender on the 1 yard line, and the Jets wound up having a goal line stand. So Elijah Moore, while you didn't score a touchdown, You prevented points on the opposite side of the field, so you are a stud today. I'm loving your effort, and I can't wait to get you more involved in the offense because it felt like he had a little bit of that shake. He had a really nice play where he was wide open down the field and Mike White overthrew him, although I think there might have been a penalty somewhere on the offensive line on that play. I think it was when McGovern tackled his defender. I could be wrong, but Elijah Moore, you're going to be a stud, and I'm really looking forward to what you have moving forward. At number 2, we're talking Mike LaFleur, and Mike LaFleur called himself a fantastic game. This is everything you wanted from your offensive coordinator. This is everything that you thought you were getting when you brought in that Shanahan-style system, something that would be very efficient. You use your running backs out of the backfield. You get a lot of speed on the field, and this was the first game we got to see LaFleur up in the booth. Now, originally the idea was Wilson and LaFleur were going to be very close together on the sideline. He would be able to walk Wilson through all these things. Now having Flacco on the sidelines and having Callahan on the sidelines, you might be able to keep LaFleur up in the booth, and he may be able to call a more complete game because you saw a lot more opportunities this game where the Jets ran to the line of scrimmage because of the players that were on the field for the Bengals. They felt they were able to take advantage of that, and I think that could be something that LaFleur is seeing from up above that he wasn't able to take advantage of down on the field. And it might not be all on LaFleur. I'm sure there's, other things going into this because the offensive line played well. The wide receivers weren't dropping passes. Mike White, who we'll get into in just a second, throwing very accurate passes across the board and taking what the defense is giving him. And this is something overall I want to see continued from Mike LaFleur. I would like to see him continue to stay in the booth. I want to see more of these trick plays. It felt like we were able to get in a little bit more of a rhythm. We were able to pick up first down after first down after first down. We wind up scoring our first points of the first quarter of the entire season in this game, which coming in, if you had told me Mike White was going to lead us to our first points in the first quarter against this Bengals defense, and a good Bengals defense at that, I wouldn't have really believed you. Wouldn't have gone that way at all. So Mike LaFleur, for all the crap you have been getting and all the heat you've gotten over the last few weeks, this was absolutely a great game for you, and I think this is exactly what Jet fans needed to see to feel more comfortable as we move forward here. And oppositely, I guess we'll go, I don't want to say oppositely, but talking about coaching, Coach Saleh, you had a very good game today with the exception of maybe one call that you probably should have challenged. But by and large, I like the fire that we got out of him. It seemed like he was making a lot of the right decisions. His defense stepped up, and I think obviously the challenge with or was it inside 2 minutes? No, it wasn't inside 2 minutes. It was the challenge with Ty Johnson when he scored the touchdown. Was that inside or outside 2 minutes? I don't know. Either way, the only black mark on your resume for today is going to be the T. Higgins catch on Bryce Hall that you should have thrown the challenge flag because it seems like the ball hit the ground and moved around a little bit, and we might have been able to stifle that Cincinnati offense just a little bit more because that was a 3rd and 6 play. That was a big impact drive that got them down to the 1 yard line that they inevitably scored a touchdown on. So that was a 4-point potential swing right there. But overall, coaching, for as bad as it was last week, significantly better this week around. And at number 1, we are talking about our version of Tom Brady, Mike White. I have seen Jet fans go bananas over Mike White over the course of the last few hours, and I love it. It's absolutely incredible, and I'm obviously being facetious. I don't expect Mike White to be the next Tom Brady, but this dude played his heart out, and he deserves to continue to start if he continues to play in this fashion. He doesn't have to have a 400-yard game every week, but this guy played his heart out. He winds up 37 of 45. That's an 82% completion percentage, 405 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He is under contract for 1 year. That's this year, $800,000, and he will be a restricted free agent after this season. So the Jets will more than likely slap him with a second-round tender or a first-round tender, which basically means if a team wanted to take Mike White away from the Jets, they would have to give up either a first or a second-round pick. But overall, loved what we got out of Mike White. He was hitting all his reads, and it felt like he was going through each of his progressions. And this is what we want to see from Zach Wilson. You want to be able to see him make the right read. You want to see him take what the defense gives him. If the deep ball isn't there, it's okay to throw things within 10 yards of the line, of scrimmage, because you're going to allow these wide receivers, like an Elijah Moore, like a Jamison Crowder, like a Ty Johnson, like a Michael Carter, give them the opportunity to get that yards after catch. And you can see our top 4 wide receivers It was Jamison Crowder. It was Elijah Moore. It was Michael Carter. It was Ty Johnson. Those were the guys that got involved early and often in this game. Part of that is LaFleur's play calling, but part of that is the smarts that Mike White has. Now, I believe he's been in the league. I think it's 3 years. So it's not like this is a complete rookie, but this is his first start and a very, very impressive start at that. He is one of 2 quarterbacks to throw for 400 yards in their first start. The first one is Cam Newton. The second one, Mr. Michael White. And I could not be happier than seeing this because I was honestly, look, I was wrong. I should have gone to this game. I had free tickets to go to this game, and I was so upset about how last week's game was. I was like, I am not wasting my time doing this. Well, you know what? Maybe that was the little kiss of good luck these Jets needed. We wind up having a great game. So, guys, those were my takeaways. I'm really excited for what's about to come. If we can continue to ride off this momentum and go into Indianapolis, if we can somehow get a victory in Indy, this is going to make this team so much more interesting. It seems like we're poised to upset teams just sleeping on us. I'm looking forward to this. Guys, let me know your biggest takeaways from this game. And as always, go Jets.